This is part 2 of lesson 46 for course 1, mentally multiplying decimal numbers by 10 and by 100. So when it says mentally, it means you should be doing it inside your head. It means you shouldn't be writing anything down. Okay? If anything, you maybe keep track with fingers or anything else, but it's in your head. Okay? So I'm going to be showing you on your board what could potentially happening inside your head, but you should be doing it inside your head. Okay? So if you're timesing, let's say 5. Let's stay away from decimal numbers for a minute and say you're timesing 5 by 10. Okay. What's happening is that you're taking the 5 and you're adding a 0. That is 5 times 10. If I was timesing 5 by 100, you're adding 2 zeros. Now we say it that way, but what's actually happening is you're taking the decimal place that's naturally there that we just never write in beside the ones, and you're moving it over however many zeros you have, putting the new decimal place and then having to fill in the blank spots with zeros. Okay, that's what's actually happening, which helps explain it for decimal numbers. So if you have a decimal number, let's say you have 5/10, and you are timesing 5/10 by 10. Well, it does not become 50 hundredths. That's making it smaller. Okay, we are going to make it bigger because we're timesing by 10. Okay, this is where the moving of the decimal comes in. So all you're doing is moving that decimal place over one space because there is 1 0. The new decimal place is here. You erase the old one. You now have 5. Okay, so that's what you need to look at thinking about mentally is how many places do I move the decimal? If I move it that many places, what's my new number? Okay, let's look at another one. Let's look at 3 and 75 hundredths times 100. Again, you just go, okay, I have 2 zeros and 100. That means I need to move my decimal place 2 times 1, 2 to the right. And that would then give me 375. So that's what you're doing again. Mentally, you are moving the decimal over. You're saying, okay, if I started with this and I move it over twice, that's just this number. Okay, I don't actually change any of the numbers. I just move that decimal place. And if I need to add in a 0, I add in a 0 if there's an extra space I've made. But you're just moving the decimal place over. We'll do one more together. Okay, this is one doing it in a fraction. And again, you can mentally do the same thing. I am moving this decimal place over once because there is 1 0, which my new number now would be 12. This, again, once, my new number is 4 because we don't need that 0 in front of it. I then have 12 over 4, and then mentally, knowing your multiplications, you should know that 4 goes equally into 12 3 times. So 12 over 4 is actually 3. And you should be able to do all of that mentally. So this is just times tables with tens and understanding that you're moving the decimal place over, and multiplication with other numbers, knowing how many times equally something would go into another number. Okay, to be able to convert it to its lowest terms, which in this case would be 3. That is mentally multiplying decimal numbers by 10 and by 100. Okay, remember you're just moving the decimal place to the right, however many zeros you have.